Welcome, history buffs and martial arts enthusiasts. Today we're embarking on an epic journey through the ages, tracing the evolution of the sword, the cultures that forged them, the fighting styles they inspired, and the brutal wars where steel met steel. Forget Hollywood fantasy, we're diving deep into historical accuracy to uncover what truly defined swordplay across the globe, from the mighty long sword to the swift short blade. Our journey begins in the late Middle Ages, a time of burgeoning plate armor and increasingly complex battlefields. Here, the longsword, or two-handed sword, emerged as a dominant force. Think knights in shining armor, and you're not far off. These weren't just blunt instruments, they were sophisticated weapons demanding skill and precision. The German school of Lichtenauer and the Italian school of Fiore de' Liberi left us detailed treatises on longsword fencing. These weren't just about hacking and slashing. Techniques included powerful cuts, precise thrusts aimed at weak points in armor, and the fascinating art of half-swording, where the wielder gripped the blade to use it almost like a short spear for better control in close quarters against armored opponents. Grappling and disarming were also integral parts of this martial art. Culturally, the longsword became a symbol of knighthood and martial prowess in Western Europe. It was a weapon of the elite, representing their status and training. Its use was deeply intertwined with the chivalric code and the ideals of honorable combat. These swords saw extensive action in the numerous wars of the period, from the Hundred Years' War to the various internal conflicts across Europe, where heavily armored knights were key combatants. Stepping up in size, we have the mighty two-handed greatswords, like the German Zweihänder and the Scottish Claymore. These behemoths weren't for your average duel. Their primary purpose on the battlefield was to break through formations of enemy pikemen. Wielders of these swords were often specialized soldiers, demonstrating incredible strength and coordination. The culture surrounding these great swords was one of raw power and battlefield dominance. The German Landsknecht Doppelsöldner, for example, were renowned for their skill with the Zweihänder and received double pay for their dangerous role in shattering enemy lines. Before the age of widespread plate armor, the dynamic duo of the one-handed sword and shield reigned supreme across many cultures. This combination offered a balance of offense and defense that was crucial in both mass battles and individual encounters. Think of the disciplined legions of Rome, wielding the short, thrusting gladius alongside the iconic scutum. Their training emphasized tight formations and relentless close-quarters combat. The gladius was designed for quick, efficient stabbing attacks, exploiting weaknesses created by the shield wall. Roman military success was intrinsically linked to this effective combination. Across Europe, the Viking Age saw the use of various one-handed swords, often paired with round or kite shields. Viking combat was characterized by aggressive attacks, with the shield used both for defense and as an offensive tool to bash and create openings. Their sagas are filled with tales of fierce shield walls and brutal sword clashes. Moving into the early medieval period, the arming sword and shield remained the staple of European warriors. Different cultures developed their own variations in sword design and shield shape, but the core principle of combining a cutting and thrusting weapon with mobile defense remained constant. Battles of this era, like those during the Norman conquest, would have been dominated by the clang of sword on shield. As armor became less prevalent on the battlefield and societal norms shifted, particularly during the Renaissance, the emphasis moved towards lighter, more agile weapons suited for civilian dueling. This era saw the rise of the elegant rapier. Originating in Spain and Italy, the rapier was a long, slender, primarily thrusting sword. Its use became a highly refined martial art, emphasizing intricate footwork, feints, and precise thrusts aimed at vital points. The culture surrounding the rapier was one of honor, skill, and often deadly personal disputes. Dueling became a common way to settle arguments among the nobility and gentry. Often paired with the rapier was the dagger, particularly the main gauche or left-hand dagger. This combination was a sophisticated system where the dagger was used to parry or trap the opponent's blade, creating openings for a fatal thrust with the rapier. This style, documented in numerous fencing manuals, showcases a high level of technical skill. The rapier saw its use in various conflicts, though primarily as a sidearm for officers and gentlemen, rather than a primary battlefield weapon. However, its influence on the development of fencing and personal combat is undeniable. The rapier eventually evolved into the lighter and even more thrust-oriented small sword in the 17th and 18th centuries. This weapon became the height of elegance and the dueling tool of choice for the aristocracy across Europe. Small sword fencing was an art of subtle movements and lightning-fast thrusts. It was deeply ingrained in the social customs of the time, and proficiency with the small sword was seen as a mark of a gentleman. Modern sport fencing, with its focus on the épée, is a direct descendant of small sword techniques. While swords eventually gave way to firearms as the primary weapon of war, their cultural significance and the martial arts developed around them continue to fascinate us. From the battlefield dominance of the long sword to the dueling finesse of the rapier and small sword, each era and culture shaped the sword and its use in unique and impactful ways. So, was there a best sword or a best form of swordplay? As we've seen, the answer is a resounding no. The ideal weapon and fighting style were always dictated by the specific context, the armor worn, the opponent faced, and the overall nature of warfare or personal combat. Each type of sword and the associated martial arts represent a fascinating adaptation to the challenges and cultural norms of their time. What are your thoughts? Which era of swordplay fascinates you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history.